I know this isn't exactly what Pixar were aiming for when they were making this film, but there's definitely a point when I thought to myself that this would be just the best film to watch on acid. That is until you realise that you don't even need it anymore, because now people can apparently turn themselves into fish. I mean, seriously, what the hell is that? I actually saw Finding Dory the day it came out in US theatres, and now I'm giving you my review over a month later, because I'm really good at staying ahead of the curve. Trying to review a movie that you saw over a month ago isn't the easiest, so give us a break if this isn't my best work. Plus, also it is absolutely roasting today, so for the majority of this review I am probably going to be a sweaty mess. So Finding Dory is the latest thing this year, trying to ride the 2016 nostalgia wave, and it's a direct sequel to 2003's Finding Nemo. And let's face it, Finding Nemo was absolutely dino, so Finding Dory's got a lot to live up to. I thought Finding Nemo was a very well contained story that honestly didn't need revisiting, and I was really hoping that this wasn't going to be another cash grab, and that there was actually a story worth telling in Finding Dory. And luckily there is! And where Finding Nemo was about finding him in the actual physical sense, so I guess locating Nemo would have been the more appropriate title, but I guess it's not as catchy. Finding Dory is about delving into her past and what makes her the character that she is today. And after a flashback, she goes on like a quest to find her long lost parents with Nemo and Marlin in tow. So I guess Finding Dory's parents would have been the more appropriate title, but that's not going to sell as many tickets. And I guess the question that most of you will have will be, is it as good as Finding Nemo? And honestly, I think Finding Nemo was a bit more original and enjoyable overall, and compared to that, Finding Dory isn't quite as engaging or Nemotional. It's still a hugely enjoyable movie though, and for the most part it's a lot of fun, and fans of the first one were pleased to see that the first third or so of this movie interweaves nicely with Finding Nemo, and that some old favourite characters return for brief appearances without it feeling too forced or too much of a nod to the first one. The pacing in this movie is something that took me by surprise. Once it gets going, the characters basically barrel through life or death situations, and it keeps on going. Sorry, just keep swimming, and the ending really ramps up. There's a scene near the end that just feels like it's out of another movie entirely. It's more of a zany action scene, and I think the jury will be out on whether or not that's a good idea. It's fun, sure, but Pixar are definitely strongest when they're grounded, and the silliness of it kinda took me out of it, even though it is a movie about talking fish. This is definitely Dory's movie, but she very nearly has it stolen from her by an outstanding cast of secondary characters. My favourites by far were either a lovesick clam, which if I remember correctly was voiced by the director Andrew Stanton, or two seals defending their place in a rock. Fans that have watched should know that these are Idris Elba and Dominic West reunited, just in much more kid-friendly roles. The best or most impressive new character though has got to be Hank the Octopus. Yup, not octopus, septopus. Hank is more of an outright cartoon than I'm used to seeing from Pixar, and was an absolute joy to watch. As someone who knows a bit about animation, I was absolutely blown away by what I've seen on the screen and the sheer amount of work that must have went into creating this character. When I get back from the movie, I looked up some of the behind the scenes stuff, and I found out that it took them 2 years just to create this one scene that you're seeing right now. That's how much development and care went into this one character, and you know what? It shows! In fact, all the visuals in this movie are stunning. I think nowadays with animations, it's just kind of a given that everything looks spectacular, so you know it's good when you're impressed with what you're seeing on the screen. I saw this in 3D, which I usually don't go for, but with Finding Dory it works. There's just so much detail in every pixel, and that's obvious even when you're wearing those 3D glasses that darken everything down. Something that I loved about this movie though was the message behind it, and it kind of took me a while to catch on with what was going on, and I may have completely misinterpreted what that message is, but if you think about it, Dory in her memory loss kind of has a disability. And early scenes make an effort to show that she can't quite operate on the same level as the people around her, and that she gets alienated as a result. But then it clicked that almost all of the core characters in this movie have some kind of flaw. Like, Hank is missing his arm, Destiny the shark is visually impaired, the whale can't echolocate, and even Nemo has his dodgy fin. But the characters work together to overcome the problems presented to them throughout the movie, and they don't let their handicaps hold them back. It's not until Dory stops apologising for her memory loss and thinking of herself as a burden that she's able to truly flourish. And this is where I have to be very careful what I say. If you ask me, the film makes it loud and clear that despite what some people might see as a flaw, despite kids watching this, and I'm not saying that they have to have short-term memory loss, right? But kids with speech impediments, ADHD, learning difficulties, a physical disability, are being told that that is absolutely not a burden and that they are more than capable of succeeding on their own terms. I hope I didn't balls that up. I know somebody will have been triggered and I'm going to get abused in the comments, but okay. Anyway, I'm rabbiting on a bit, so I will wrap it up. I will admit, I was wrong. Before seeing this, I did not think that Dory was a strong enough character to carry her own movie, but it turns out she is. Whether or not a Dory movie is necessary though is up to you. It was very enjoyable to watch and the visuals were absolutely fantastic. Although I would say that I don't think it's as emotional as it thinks it is. I'd say it's not quite a Toy Story 3, but it's definitely not a Cars 2. So I'm going to give Finding Dory 4 popcorns. Thanks very much for watching my review of Finding Dory. If you like this video and you want to see more, please don't forget to hit that subscribe button. And if you and your friends are thinking of seeing this movie, then don't forget to share this video with them and maybe it'll influence your decision. You can click right here to see my latest review, or if you want something that's not a review, then watch my edit for Hitler finding out about the Ghostbusters 2016 reboot. Thanks very much for watching and I'll see you next time.